Hi everyone, welcome back. And in the drill I have a relatively large, medium grit diamond burr. Lots of water flowing, and I'm starting with the background petals of this dingly dangly flower. It's of course one of my fantasy flowers, and not going as deep as what I'm about to do now, because this particular petal is going to be the one that's very much in front of the others, so therefore it is going to be much, much deeper. This little shot glass is very thick and lovely crystal, and so I have got a lot of thickness to play with. I'm feeling it with my thumb as I go along, just checking on the depth of it, and I was quite happy. And you saw how quickly that went in. It was just so quick. I've got this video sped up to twice normal speed, so you get a pretty good idea. It doesn't take that long, especially when you're engraving something as soft as this lovely lead crystal. Working on the smallest flowers further down, these are sort of flatter, and there I'm just doing some very elongated bits dangling out the middle. It's all fantasy, make it up. But with this flower, again, the petals that are behind, like the one at the moment, I am just going over the surface, and then the one I'm doing now is the one that's in the front. So as you go around, that's basically what you're going to do. I'm not going towards the very point of the petal. I'm stopping before the end, because that can be done with a smaller burr. As you may already know, though some people may have not watched all my other videos before, the purpose of the water, of course, is to lubricate the diamond burr. This makes it last much longer, and it also gives a much, much neater, cleaner cut on the glass. It also keeps the dust down. There would normally be an awful lot of dust flying about, but this just turns it into a wet slurry that is just pouring off the glass and flicking about the place, actually, which is why you wear goggles or glasses or headband magnifier or something over your eyes always. Once again, this is a deeper petal over the top. These very dingly-dangly stamen, or whatever you want to call them, as I say, they're all made up. And I am not really sure how the whole glass is going to finish, because I will be adding a lot more at the end, a lot more of what I'm not really sure, but my intention is to cover this little shot glass. I want it absolutely covered in engraving. This is one of a series of shot glasses of the same make. This is Cumbria Crystal, beautiful, beautiful hand-blown lead crystal. I do have a video out there which shows my water setup. It is basically a two-way gang valve which is used in fish tanks. And if you find only a three-way gang valve, just block one up. And it's got some pipe coming from it, one going into an empty milk bottle which is full of water and elevated. It's hanging from a higher position, and the other piece of pipe coming down to the glass, and it's got a little tap on it which regulates the flow. So you only want just regular drops coming out. You soon get used to holding it in your left hand or between your fingers. I don't even think about it. And sometimes I forget I've even got it in my hand until I realize that I've actually I've got dust flying and I'm not quite got it hovering over the diamond. Of course, there is absolutely nothing wrong with engraving dry. Oh, there you go. That's looking pretty, isn't it? It's just so different. It's just really different. As I was going to say, there is nothing wrong with engraving dry. It just means that you really do need to have good quality diamond burrs, preferably quite new. And especially if the glass is of a harder quality. And it obviously will make a lot more dust and it'll get a lot hotter. Your diamond will wear down faster. You will find that the edges are possibly a little bit more chippy, a little bit more gritty, and you just have to neaten them up. I just find using water with a diamond just absolutely wonderful. It makes a world of difference. I do not use water, usually don't use water with my stones. It's very unusual for me to use water with the stone, and I would certainly not use water with my rubber. But that's my preference. I'm not even sure what other people do, but after 40 years of engraving, that is just the way I do it. I find that water, obviously, with anything like rubber or stone, it softens it a bit and it'll start to wear down a little bit faster. Here I have got some dingly-dangly earring type effects coming down from the ears of my lady. You'll see I do a little bit on the one side, then a little bit on the other side, almost like a little kind of factory run. As I said on the previous video, not absolutely symmetrical, but just roughly so. Now, there are a lot of dark gaps, in other words, blank glass, that I sort of begin to look at and want to fill in with something, with anything, with shapes, with hair, with whatever. So I'm thinking of that as I go along. You can see the absolute vibrance of this beautiful, beautiful crystal. It actually also helps to have a wonderful light, and of course I use my serious readers light. It's a high definition light, and it is focused very sharply down on the glass and not on the surrounding area. Absolutely beautiful light. Here I have a much smaller diamond, and I am neatening up the points of the petals and adding a bit of a variegated line down the middle. For those of you who wonder what my drill is, because I still get asked all the time what kind of drill I use, of course it is a micromotor, and this one is a Fordham micromotor, and it is a brushless micromotor. On the box attachment box, what do you call it? The control box that it's plugged into, there is also a port especially to plug in your normal micromotor with brushes. So that's an interesting addition to it. It's quite useful. And what happens is this brushless one, the brushless handpiece, goes up to 50,000 RPM. But as soon as you plug in the brushes handpiece, that stops at 35, I think, 30 or 35,000 RPM. It won't go any more than that. It's a fantastic, fantastic tool, and it's got a digital screen, so I can see what speed I'm going at. I can set it at a speed if I want to stick to a particular speed. I can set it so that it goes no more than a certain speed. And I sometimes do that when I am using something like a DuraWhite. And if I'm using a DuraWhite for a period of time, sometimes you get carried away and you end up putting your foot down on the pedal and it's going faster and faster. And I certainly do not want to go too fast with a delicate little DuraWhite. So I usually set it so that it goes no more than about 15,000 RPM. These diamonds, I put it up to about 45. Sometimes I'll set it to 50 so that if I do put my foot down and get up to 50,000 RPM, it's not a problem. As long as I've got lots of water flowing. You get to know the sound of the burr on the glass, the sound of the machine itself, and you learn. It's like a language. You can see a little bit on the side the depth that I've gone into where I have turned the glass there. There was quite a little bit of contouring into the glass. It is pretty deep. I've probably gone in a millimetre or two in places. Don't forget to join these sort of parts, because I find that a lot of my students tend to leave gaps between twigs and leaves and that sort of thing, whereas they really do need to be joined up. I'm not sure why people do that, but join them up. Even if it's partly diamond and partly stone, so that there's different sort of grades of colour or shading, but make sure they're attached. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I think she's looking lovely. I'll have to think of a name. These veins down the middle of the petals I will be picking up much later, along with rubber, maybe a bit of Dura-White, but possibly just rubber actually, because I've gone that deep down the middle that whatever I run over the top of it will skip the middle, so that the veins, or whatever you want to call it, will remain untouched, and the rubber will change the surface around the edges. This little diamond burr is also a sintered diamond, very useful to have in your toolbox. They're much more expensive, but last a very long time. There, I just add a little piece of hair in the spaces. I will fill them up with halftones later on. And this earring, I've gone quite deep at the top of it, so that it looks like it is attached to the ear, sort of protruding from the ear. Do you know what? I'm looking at this glass now. You see it quite differently when you're watching it on a video. And I'm thinking, you know what? It's the sort of glass I'm not expecting people to drink a liqueur out of. I'm expecting it to be something that you would display. But it lends itself to being engraved on the inside as well as on the outer surface. So I may well do that for the next video. You can see how I blend the points in. I don't just neaten up the point. I use this little burr to flick back towards the center, and that sort of just blends it a little bit. So she's looking really rather nice. I'm really enjoying this. I'm quite excited about how it would look in the end. I hope you are enjoying it too. Thanks for watching, guys, and I look forward to the next video. Cheers for now.